I recently did a video on energy imprints, and it struck me I've got a great example of doing a clearing from an energy imprint, and I want to share it with you today. Today, I want to cover energy imprints, and I want to discuss them by using an example of something that I just came across, ran into in my travels. I'll share that with you today. But I also want to talk about how important it is to pay attention to your emotions and your feelings and if they align to your path or not, because there might be a hint in there that you have an energy situation around you that needs to be cleared. Stick with me. This will all make sense by the end of it. Let's start with my example. We are currently full time RVing, absolutely love it. We travel all over the country. Every week or so, we'll go from one location to another. So, as you can imagine, there's a lot of energy that runs through our lives and that we step into different energies in different campsites, different resorts, different places that we go. Most of the time, it's great. Why? Because people who are out there RVing, staying in these RV resorts, are really on vacation. So, most often, we run into situations where the energy of a location that we are staying at for a week or two is a very positive energy. Very happy, very excited. It's vacation time. We're relaxing, we're enjoying nature. That's the general vibe that we get. Especially with campgrounds that have been there for a very long time, they have a long history of positive vacationing energy. So, as you can see, I don't run into doing clearings a lot on site in the resorts that we stay at with our RV. I typically run into clearings outside of the resorts or the campgrounds. But this case was different. We arrived at a newer resort. There's your first sign, a newer resort. Wonderful people, organized, beautiful, freshly built. This was either their first or their second season. I think they might have done a little bit the previous season, but this summer was really their first full summer. And we get there, we park. It was probably about an hour in that I started to feel nervous. Now, there's nothing in this particular resort that would make you feel nervous. This is a smaller town. It was in Michigan. It was beautiful. It was near some of the Great Lakes. It was an absolutely spectacular location. People were out and about. They were walking around with that friendly sort of camper vacationy vibe. And it was wonderful. So I didn't have anything to pinpoint. I'm setting everything up, getting my office set up, getting everything organized so we can kind of settle in for 2 weeks. And I start to feel nervous and uncomfortable. After about an hour, I step outside and it hits me even more. I feel like I'm in danger, but around me, there is nothing that says you're in danger. So my feelings were not adding up to my environment. Now, I'm human. I'm a female. I will always double check my environment, triple check my environment to first look for human threats. So if I do feel unsafe or uncomfortable, I trust, okay, this could be my gut instinct telling me that something around me is really harmful and I could be in danger. So I tell people, sometimes it's not spiritual. Sometimes it's your intuition alerting you of human interactions or danger that you might be in. Listen to your intuition always, always listen to it. So I do kind of walk around, our site, walk a little bit into the road, look around a little bit to see, is there any red flags here? Is there anything in this resort that makes me feel uncomfortable? And the answer was no. There was nothing. So, step two, and this is the way I would guide you to do this as well. Step one is look around. What's in your environment? What's going on? Is there something that equates with this sensation or this emotion you're having? And I was currently having the emotion of, I'm not okay. I'm not safe. If there's nothing in your human environment, if there's nothing around you that's a red flag that says, yeah, you're not safe, you should probably get out of here, then the next step is to go inward and check in with your intuition and go into your energy. Pause, your whole process, whatever you're doing, just pause for about 5 to 10 seconds and go inward. Be fully in the moment, fully connected, and ask yourself, what am I feeling? When that feeling starts to get intense, then ask your intuition to identify it. Identify it. Now, when you do this, it's going to be different for everyone because one of my favorite things about intuition is we are all different. We are all so unique with it. And even if your intuition has presented you with an answer about a surrounding energy in one particular way one day, on a different day, it could show it to you in a different way. And this actually happened for me. So this could not be a better example of what I ran into. So here we are, we're parked. There are no RVs behind us. So we've kind of backed into a spot, and behind us are some, I would say, light woods, not heavy woods, just some light woods. And I'm standing there in this sort of area now next to my RV. I've identified that it's not a physical threat. I am not, the human is not in danger, right? And the next step is I've gone quiet and I've gone inward. I've brought that feeling back up, which is identifying, recognizing the energy that I'm feeling and saying, okay, where is it? There it is. Okay, I can feel it again. I can feel it again. And now I ask my intuition, present to me where this energy is coming from, because it's not mine, right? It's not me panicking that I'm in danger, because I'm physically not in danger. And in this instance, it did show up a little bit different, which is why I love to show it. Most of the time for me as a medium, I will see the image of the spirit, or see a sign or something, or a symbol of some sort to say go this way or go that way. This time it looked like like kind of like a dark cloud. It looked like a fog that showed up in those woods behind my RV. And much like I chuckle whenever it's something in the basement, I think, of course, it was something in the woods. There we go. It's always going to be in the woods. Great. And that's when I was able to shift away from feeling like I wasn't safe to acknowledging that there's an energy in here where people didn't feel safe. And this is the energy imprint. So first I see the cloud of fog, and now I don't know quite yet if it's an energy imprint or if it's a stuck spirit. So I turn my focus to that, fog that I'm seeing, that my intuition is showing me. I'm now facing these kind of sparse woods, and I'm going quiet, I'm going inward, I'm letting my intuition sort of disconnect from the agreed upon reality. I'm focused on the message that's coming through, which is this heavy fog that's sitting out there. I've disconnected from the emotion of feeling in danger. I've now recognized that that emotion wasn't my emotion. It wasn't my internal system telling me that I am indeed in danger. And I've now recognized that this fog is the energy of feeling like you are in danger. Now, once you do that, it releases, because we feel these things. We feel these things, so we get alerted to a situation that we need to assist. And that can be quite the kicker, because it's like, wait a minute, I'm in danger. And if we don't stop to differentiate between, is this in my human existence or my spiritual existence, then we can get a little lost in the human experience when it's, definitely a spiritual situation happening. So we delineate, felt it, looked around, identified it wasn't human. I am now focused on the fog. So deep breath inward, just relaxing, letting the rest of the world kind of fade away, focusing on that cloud. And the first thing I do is say, is there anyone who is stuck? Right? Is there anyone who is stuck? Also, is there anyone who is not stuck that can assist in this situation? Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. As somebody that does crossing over work, that's going to be your favorite sentence. Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. When I did that, I was looking with the intent of finding a stuck spirit in the fog. That's what I assumed was going to happen next. And I couldn't. None of it came to be. I didn't see an individual. I didn't sense an individual. I didn't sense anyone in transition. So I knew this was just an energy, but I do confirm. All right, I'm now dealing with an energy imprint. I get a rush that goes through me. Okay, that's my confirmation. Yes, I'm dealing with an energy imprint. Okay. My next question to my guides is, do I need to clear this energy imprint? The answer was yes. The human in me thinks, good, I'm going to sleep better at night. Okay. So now I'm standing there looking at the fog. I've now confirmed that there's no stuck spirits in the fog, that this is just a stuck energy. And I say, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. And I start to see these scenarios that had happened previously, like events that had happened. Not all of them were pretty. I'm going to be honest about that one. I knew that they were far back. I could tell by the clothing that I would see, but I would see people bringing other people to this location. When I'm brought back into time intuitively watching this, I'm instantly surrounded by woods completely. There's no campground here. When I'm going back in time to kind of tap into, okay, what happened? What's going on? Tell me more. The campground fades away, and what comes in is what's really there. So, next thing I know, intuitively, I'm standing in the middle of the woods and I can see people bringing other people into the woods. One of them was one by like one person was bringing one person into the woods. It was a man bringing a female into the woods. There was another one that I saw. So they showed like 3 or 4 of them. There was another one that I saw that there was 3 males bringing a fourth male into the woods, and then the other 2 were males, either singular or plural, bringing women into these woods. And I could tell by the clothing, like I said, that it was back in the day, that this was not a recent occurrence at all. And I got a gut feeling. Gut feelings happen a lot when it comes to crossing over work, a lot. And even though when you're training to hone your intuition, if you're, training with the SAGE method or with whatever method you're training to really hone that intuition, even though you're really focusing on taking that gut feeling and utilizing it and accessing it through your 5 senses, when we get into crossing over work, the goal isn't to really fine tune the information. The goal is to let your gut guide you. So that sort of gut instinct feel is really big when it comes to crossing over work. So I let myself just be there witnessing what's happening. And my gut kind of told me this was the local town spot where individuals would bring individuals to harm them, really. And as sad as that sounds, that was my gut feeling. And when I get a gut feeling, I always ask my guides really for confirmation. And I remember my main guide Peter was there with me, and I said, "Hey, is this like a spot where like locals would bring people, or other locals or whatever would bring people to inflict harm, or you know you know perpetrate or hurt?" And he said, "Yes, indeed it was." And I said, "Okay, I've got permission to clear this. We're going to clear this out." So in clearing it out, for me, it's different every single time. And this is why I love to ask. So I just said, "Peter, any particular technique you want me to use?" And he was like, "Just fill it up with white light." That's usually a real basic but simple but very effective technique. And so I did just that. I asked for white light to be brought into this fog, to saturate the fog, to turn it from this dark gray to a white light. And it did. I watched it visually unfold. And then I watched all of that energy really lift and dissipate. When that was done, filled the entire area with white light and asked for it to be very healing for Mother Earth, very healing for the environment, very asked it, if it was possible, I asked the higher ups to please also provide white light for this new campground, this new business that's happening, bring them some positive energy so that they can thrive as well. Because these things happen where a new business will come in. And remember in the beginning of this, I said, that's an important piece. Brand new business, brand new construction. Construction is frequently associated with mustering up old energies, right? So if we have repeat conflict, perpetrators hurting individuals in one particular area, in remote woods, in a small town, right? And then that stops and years go by, which was what was happening. Someone comes in, cuts down all those trees, puts in these cement pads for RVs to sit on. He's got the shop and the bathroom and all this kind of stuff goes in here and creates this business that's going to stir up the energy that is in that land. More often than not, energy that is there tends to become stagnant. What happens as a result is people coming through are typically just not going to be a fan of that location. They're going to hike somewhere else, and they just never really have a good time when they hike through there. They don't know why, they just don't. This is that energy imprint that's there. The events that happened, heightened emotions happened during those events. Those emotions caused energy to imprint into that area. Someone came through, plowed it all down with construction, built an entire RV resort right on it or within it, kind of next to it as well. And it stirred up that old energy. We come in there, we park. Next thing I know, I feel like I'm in danger. I feel like I'm going to get hurt, and I feel like it's imminent. It's going to happen any second. And it's that fight or flight survival feeling that comes over me, only to find out this is actually an energy imprint that I have stepped into as an intuitive. So, a couple key points I want you to take away from this. First would be, as an intuitive, as somebody that does crossing over work, as somebody who is connected energetically and sensitive energetically, there are going to be times in your life where you go to a new location and all of a sudden you have an emotion or you are overwhelmed by a thought or feeling for reasons you can't explain. That happens. It's normal, it's natural, it is far more normal and natural than what somebody else might lead you to believe. Functioning in a world where we are energetically closed off from other energies and emotions and sensations, like completely closed off, is not healthy. It's not natural. It's not being in sync with Mother Earth, and it's not being in sync with the highest good, especially if you're somebody that can clear something like this. It's always nice to come in, take a metaphorical broom, clean some stuff up. It's going to benefit everyone else that comes there and visits after you. So, being open, being energetically sensitive, doing crossing over work, you might come across something that spins you into an emotion or a feeling that doesn't seem to logically make sense in your human environment. Please always check out your human environment first, because if you feel like you're in danger or something's off, you absolutely have to pay attention to that in the human world. Do not discount that. Check your surroundings, figure out what's going on. If you can't find a reason for it and you do believe fully that you and your human experience are safe, then go on to the next step of checking things out energetically. Sit with the feeling. Just take a deep breath and say, okay, what's going on around here that I'm picking up? You take it out of your system, you put it back to where it belongs. The message is received. You're going to do something about it. Work with your guides. Move toward that step of clearing out the space. Then you're going to help not only the living people that come there in the future, and hopefully that business is going to thrive as a result of this, but you're also going to help any spirits that are transitioning, crossing over. Perhaps they need to go through this location or they're connected to this location in some way, shape, or form through their transition process. You're going to help those spirits also to have a more easy transition, to not get stuck in that energy as well, and to be able to cross over. Because it's really important that we're not only taking care of ourselves and the people around us as in our human experience, it's really important that we're taking care of the people that are transitioning as well. So every chance you get to raise the vibration of a location, to clean something up old and stagnant that's no longer needed to be there, every chance you get to do that, you're helping both living and deceased and the transitioning. Because you know what I always say, ghosts are people too.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Crossing Over community, a loving and safe community of individuals who are shining light on the beautiful process of the death transition. Members of this community are amazing people just like yourself. Join the discussion, access more in-depth trainings, and be a part of this growing movement by joining the Crossing Over community today.